Hello and welcome. You're watching UTV Live at 6.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. These are the stories making the headlines.
Storm Amy hits Northern Ireland and the Republic, causing travel disruption, school closures and power outages.
I'm here in Fermanagh, one of the many counties hit with an amber warning for wind.
A witness to Bloody Sunday tells the Soldier F trial he told a man lying on the ground to play dead moments before he was fatally shot.
And a mother of a Donegal backpacker murdered in India says she's scared her daughter's killer could be released from prison.
Also tonight, the storm plays havoc with the weekend's sport, but Ulster's players are eyeing up Irish call-ups.
It's fighting talk as two local MMA stars battle it out in career-defining bouts.
And of course, we're really feeling the impacts of Storm Amy, wet and windy weather with warnings in place into tomorrow. I'll have more on that later in the programme.
Storm Amy is sweeping across Ireland. Here in Northern Ireland, there are amber wind warnings across much of counties Londonderry, Tyrone, Fermanagh and Antrim, with other parts having yellow warnings for wind and rain.
Meanwhile, in County Donegal has just come out of a severe red warning advising people to shelter in place. But already in the last hour, we're hearing news of a serious weather-related incident in Letterkenny. Well, let's cross live now to Sarah O'Kane, who is in Enniskillen for us this evening, one of the worst affected areas. Sarah, bring us up to date.
Well, as you mentioned there, Gardaí say they are currently dealing with an incident, and we know that a man has indeed been seriously injured. Now, we don't know the extent of those injuries, but it happened in the Letterkenny area at around 4:15 this afternoon. Donegal had been in a red weather warning. Of course, that's the worst you can get, and it's not over for them yet because they now are entering into an amber weather warning for wind. And Gardaí really are asking everyone to pay attention to the weather warnings that are being issued. And look, I don't need to tell you, you can see it here for yourself, that really we're now into 3 hours of this amber warning here in Fermanagh, and it has affected many parts of the county. You might think it's not that bad, but out and about there are a number of fallen trees making driving conditions hazardous. The M1 is currently closed near Dungannon because of fallen trees. Now, the amber warning here and across those other counties remains until 8 o'clock this evening. Sadly, here in Enniskillen, one woman had a very terrifying experience when she returned to her car to find it completely crushed by a tree. Now, thankfully, she wasn't inside the car at the time, but it just shows you the extent that, you really can't be too careful. Police are warning about destruction and damage. Now, as I mentioned there, the warning here is in place until 8 o'clock. Schools did take a precautionary measure and close at 12 o'clock today. And at the moment, hundreds of homes are without power. We'll hear more on that in a moment from Jordan Moat. But first, Aidan Wilson has been looking at the damage caused by Storm Amy.
A lucky escape for this car's owner. She was at work in Enniskillen when Storm Amy toppled a tree, crushing it completely. The worst of the weather hit the west, an amber warning bringing winds of up to 80 miles per hour. Coastlines felt the brunt of the storm. Many ferry sailings from Larne and Belfast have been cancelled as the worst of the weather endures. For those tempted to capture the waves and brave the elements, a warning to take extra care.
If you are going out, stay back from drops, piers, cliff edges, that sort of thing. Weather conditions obviously at the minute is a bit horrific. If you are going out, make somebody aware, and also take a fully charged mobile phone with you in case you get into difficulties. You can call for help.
Storm Amy has brought disruption to travel across sea, land and air. Some flights have been cancelled or rerouted. This plane struggled to land at Belfast City Airport earlier, lifting up to circle round as winds picked up. Cars struggled through flooded roads outside Larne as heavy rain worsened conditions. The Education Authority cautioned schools in amber zone counties to close at midday. Even in Belfast, some schools decided to shut their doors at noon.
I imagine it's a lot of trouble for other people. I understand traffic's bad, the car park here's a bit of a disaster. It's not the school's fault, I understand, but I wouldn't have been for it.
At the moment we don't have any choice, Well,
if it's health and safety, then yes, all parents have to put the well-being of their kids and staff as a priority.
It's sensible, but hopefully it doesn't come to anything, and if it doesn't come to anything, it's like all this chaos just for rain.
The severe weather conditions have moved councils to close parks, cemeteries and recycling centres, while some country parks and sports pitches decided to close their gates too. For those working in tourism, the amber warning has had an immediate impact.
So we all have to take it on the chin at times. I know that's not easy for business owners. The parks are closed, the council closed their attractions. We were supposed to be up for 2 awards tonight in the Fermanagh Herald Business Awards, but of course it's been postponed. And so I think we all have to be mindful that, listen, given the risk, we just need to be very careful and look after each other.
In the Republic, Storm Amy also battered coastlines. Those living in County Donegal were told to shelter in place after a red wind warning was issued by Met Éireann. Road clearing is already underway as winds continue to whip across Northern Ireland. Storm Amy may be the first of the season, but will she leave a lasting impact? Eden Wilson, UTV Live.
We were warned to expect disruption now. This evening, around 400 homes are without power. Jordan Motes is at NIE's control centre in Craigavon for us. Jordan, what's it looking like now?
Yes, Sarah, well, it's a fairly changing picture here because, as we know, the storm is still ongoing. Take a look at this map here of Northern Ireland. The blue and red dots are power outages. Some of them could be 1 or 2 homes, or they could be 1,000 homes. And as you can see, it's a fair spread right across Northern Ireland. Let's get an update now from NIE. Let's speak to Alex Houston. Alex, what is the latest figure? How many homes are without power this evening?
So as of right now, we're seeing in excess of 50,000 homes off power. Of course, the amber weather warning is still in force until 8 p.m. tonight, and the yellow weather warning through to tomorrow. So we are expecting we're seeing significant damage, and we're expecting some more damage over the next period. I suppose the key message I want to give out to our customers tonight is to stay safe, to stay away from damaged equipment and fallen trees around that damaged equipment, and contact us on 03457 643 643 or via WhatsApp. And
the storm is obviously still ongoing. Are crews able to get out there yet to repair any of this damage?
Once we saw this coming, we've activated our emergency plan. We have local incident centres mobilised right across the country. We're seeing damage widespread right across the country, and teams are out there where it's safe to do so, focusing on clearing dangerous situations and also carrying out some repairs on the high voltage network where possible.
And briefly, Storm Iowan was not too distant memory, so what are we talking here in terms of getting people back on? Is it going to be a long time or a short time?
So look, it's still right in the middle of the amber, and my focus is very much on restoring customers as quickly as possible. We'll make a full damage assessment once the amber weather warning passes tonight at 8, and then really looking forward to staying in place to get those customers back on power.
Alex Houston, thank you very much for that update. Well, a fairly changing picture here. This map will probably change quite a bit over the next coming hours, and hopefully people will be back on as soon as possible.
Well, look, it's not just electricity. Fibrous and other providers say they are preparing for significant disruption and their teams are ready to react. Now, the weather warnings will remain in place until tomorrow, and we'll have more forecast at the end of the programme.
Sarah O'Kane, live in Enniskillen. Look after yourself. Thank you. A man giving evidence at the trial of the Army veteran known as Soldier F has told how he tried to help a wounded man on Bloody Sunday by telling him to play dead.
Malachy Coyle told Belfast Crown Court he was frightened but watched events unfold as he hid in a garden. Barbara McCann reports.
In his evidence to the court, Malachy Coyle told how he was 15 and had gone to the Civil Rights March with 2 school friends, but they had become separated as the events of Bloody Sunday unfolded, and he was trying to escape the effects of CS gas. He said as he was running away, he was pulled to safety into a garden by an older man in his 20s or 30s and hid behind a fence.
Mr. Coyle said he was frightened, but he looked through a gap in the fence. He said he could see 3 civilians lying on the ground. One was groaning and saying he couldn't move his legs. He said he told him to play dead. The next thing he heard a high-velocity shot and sparks on the ground next to one of the men.
The veteran, who cannot be named for legal reasons, sat behind a curtain listening to the evidence in the non-jury trial. He has pleaded not guilty to all the charges against him, that of murdering James Ray and William McKinney, and the attempted murders of 5 others on Bloody Sunday in January 1972. The eyewitness also told the court that he saw a soldier in the Glenfada Park North area who wasn't wearing a helmet and looked different to the other soldiers. He described him as angry, unstable and dangerous looking. The court heard that Mr. Coyle had remained consistent in his oral and written evidence to various inquiries in the years since Bloody Sunday. The trial continues. Barbara McCann, UTV Live, Belfast Crown Court.
The mother of a backpacker from Donegal murdered in India says she's scared that her daughter's killer could be released from prison. Danielle McLaughlin was raped and murdered in the popular tourist region of Goa in 2017.
After one of the longest lasting murder trials in the world, her killer was sentenced to life, but he is due to launch a bid to be freed from jail while he appeals his conviction. Danielle's mum, Andrea, says she's shocked and surprised by the development. She's been speaking to our Northwest correspondent, Gareth Wilkinson.
Vigit Bhagat is a rapist and a murderer. His victim, a young woman who considered him to be a friend. 28-year-old Danielle McLaughlin was from Buncrana in County Donegal. She first met her killer on a previous trip to Goa. They were captured together on CCTV. Just hours later, Danielle was dead. That was 8 years ago, but Bhagat was only convicted last February.
Bhagat has been found guilty of taking Danielle from us.
It's trying to accept the fact that I'll never see her again. And it's hard. Because this is my eldest girl. Like, what would she be doing now? Would she have met someday? Would she maybe have a family? Because you're chatting 8.5 years later.
At the end of a trial hit by setbacks and delays, Bhagat faced the death penalty, but was instead sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars. He launched an appeal of his conviction last April. Now it's emerged he's applied to the High Court in India to have his sentence suspended during the appeal process.
Like they already told us, the appeal could take up to 2 years to be heard.
And if he gets out, he could be out for at least 2 years?
At least 2 years, yeah. So that's scary.
And this is a guy who at no point ever showed any remorse?
He's never showed any remorse, even when we seen him in India in court. He didn't show any remorse towards us. He knew no empathy on what had happened and what he'd done.
Do you think he's a danger to be let out of jail?
He would be a danger to other people. And I would be scared that he would do it to some other vulnerable person.
A hearing on Bhagat's application to be released is expected to be held within weeks. What would your appeal to the authorities in India be?
That they don't let him out. That he stays in jail for the rest of his life.
Danielle was laid to rest in her native town, and an inquest into her death will be heard at a later date in County Donegal. But her family are now steeling themselves for yet another legal battle thousands of miles away in India. Gareth Wilkinson, UTV Live, Buncrana.
An independent panel set up to look into the circumstances of the Falls curfew during the Troubles has gathered in Belfast this morning. 4 men were killed when the British Army moved into the area between the 3rd and 5th of July 1970. The panel will hear from the loved ones of those who died. The chair, Michael Mansfield, said it's an opportunity for people to have their voices heard.
The people, before it's too late, need to tell their story and they need to be listened to. So that's the object. And normally these people's inquiries come back with a report at the end of it. And people feel they've had their voices heard, recorded, and that the truth, as they see it, is being properly recorded as opposed to some kind of whitewash.
A 23-year-old man's been arrested in Newry following reports of a hijacking in the Domain area yesterday afternoon. A woman was forcibly removed from her car before the suspect drove off in the stolen white Nissan Qashqai. Officers on their way to the scene came across the car, but the driver failed to stop and made off at high speed. The vehicle was later recovered and the man remains in police custody.
A 45-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of criminal damage following several reports of racist graffiti in Lisburn. Officers received multiple reports of graffiti that appeared to target the city's Muslim residents this afternoon. Police have thanked the public for reporting the incidents and assisting with inquiries.
Time now to look at the headlines making tonight's ITV News at 6:30.
Yes, with all the details, here's Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up on tonight's evening news, one of the victims killed in the Manchester synagogue attack was accidentally shot by police. Greater Manchester police say a second person who is recovering in hospital was also shot as they both sheltered behind the building's door. The two men who died were named today as Melvin Kravitz and Adrian Dolby. Plus, we have an exclusive interview with the rabbi who was there as the attack unfolded, who pays tribute to the bravery of them both. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Time for sport.
Yes, here's Ruth Gorman.
What a drive! John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
Good evening. Storm Amy has played a big part in sport this weekend already. Ulster Rugby's URC tie with Edinburgh has been postponed. The game was due to take place in Scotland's capital, but Ulster confirmed late morning that the game was off due to worsening weather conditions across Scotland overnight. Ulster's bonus point win last weekend was a good start to the season for Richie Murphy's side, and with the autumn internationals just 1 month away, players are hoping to impress early on. After two big milestones last season, Rob Herring and Stuart McCluskey have over 550 caps between them for Ulster.
It's pretty special to get those sort of milestones, but at the same time, very disappointed with how we sort of fizzled out towards the end of the season. And we want to get Ulster back to where the team belongs, and been working really hard, and full faith in the coaching staff now, and some of the young lads coming through, and obviously the signings we made. So hopefully we'll be in a better place.
For Ireland, the pair have a combined total of 65 caps. Both are hoping to add to that during the November internationals.
Hopefully still thereabouts. Obviously thought I played well the other night, but one game doesn't make a good season, does it? But I thought I was close enough in parts last season. Obviously a few injuries held me back and got me into camps late, so I didn't really get a good run at getting games. But a couple of decent results in the summer. Obviously the Portugal opposition wasn't brilliant, but still got to go out there and win it well, don't you? So hopefully I'm not too far away. I'd love to still be involved. I'd love to go to Chicago here in a few weeks, I'll take any games I can get.
We'll see where things fall close to the time, and there's always probably going to be an open conversation with Faz and the coaching staffs, and you don't know what direction they want to move, and they've got two quality hookers there just come back from the Lions, and I'm just going to keep doing what I do at Ulster, and like I said, close to the time we'll probably have conversations with them.
Last season was disappointing for Ulster, not only finishing their lowest ever in the URC table, 14th out of 16, but having very little involvement with Andy Farrell's Ireland squad. Injury and form took its toll, but after a positive pre-season, there's renewed optimism around the Affidea Stadium.
It was good, the amount of rugby. We did a lot of rugby, less sort of hill sprints and sand dunes, more figuring out what we're doing on the pitch, which was good for me, thankfully at my age. But I thought we made great strides, and I know every team will say that after pre-season, after winning your first game. But I'm hoping to take another step forward.
There's the feeling around the squad is a feeling of excitement, and it feels fresh. I've been really impressed with some of the young lads who are stepping up, and the sort of the stuff they're bringing to training, which is really helping the squad move forward.
Ulster's next game will now be against the Bulls next Saturday in Belfast. Well, from Belfast to Dubai, where two Northern Irish fighters have career-defining MMA bouts tonight. County Tyrone's Cialan Loughran is up against Jack Cartwright, and in a rematch of what many say was one of the battles of the year, Derry's Paul Hughes is seeking revenge against the Professional Fighters League lightweight champion. Rory O'Regan reports.
Underestimating me, I can tell it in your energy.
A final few words before they let their skills do the talking.
155 pounds.
Weight has been made, the training is done. A mixed martial arts cage now awaits.
Still undefeated, Osman!
Derry's Paul Hughes lost his first bout against Usman Nurmagomedov in January. In a few hours' time, he intends to get even and secure this belt, and with it, a Professional Fighters League lightweight title.
It's everything to me. This is my entire life. This is my life's work to get to this position, to be a world champion. So, yeah, it consumes me. It has to.
Another fighter from Northern Ireland will be sharing the arena with Paul in Dubai. Cialan Loughran expects a win tonight against Jack Cartwright and wants it to catapult him to the next stage of his career.
Big fights, big fight nights, big opponents, big paychecks and world titles. That's kind of really what I'm at the minute. I've been in the game a long time, so I just really say this is what I would call the final stretch of my fight career. Motivated by that, really, the belt and money, really.
Dubai has become one of the premier fighting spots in the world, but the County Tyrone man has his sights set on a goal closer to home, a sellout night at the SSE.
I literally die a happy man. That would be, because I used to train a lot in Belfast, and I used to drive up, and this just sounds so stupid, like I'd go to the Gracie Baja Jiu-Jitsu, but I'd go the long way around and I would add on like 10, 15 minutes to my drive, but it was just to go past the SC and visualise it. You do it every time, just to imagine I was doing it there. I'm going to try and take him down if you can stop that.
It could be a historic night for Northern Irish sport, and at its core, two friends who have been in each other's corner since the beginning.
These are people that, you know, I've came up in the scene with forever. Another lad from just down the road, same background as myself, grew up playing Gaelic and then transitioned over to MMA. Like, that's a great thing, to be able to share these events at like the pinnacle of the sport with your friends from just down the road. It's a great experience for sure.
Years of training and months of preparation, all in a bid to create more moments like these. Rory O'Regan, UTV Live.
Tom McKibben has had another good day at the Alfred Dunhill Links Championships in Scotland. McKibben shot a 7-under par round of 65 yesterday. He was on the last hole today when play was suspended due to the bad weather. He's currently tied for 4th on 10 under. That's just 2 shots off the lead. Finally, table toppers Glentoran won't be in action this weekend as their game with Cliftonville has been postponed tonight due to Storm Amy. That's all your sport. Have a great weekend.
What a drive! John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
OK, well, let's bring you up to date on Storm Amy. Quite a few flights have been cancelled this evening and others diverted. Belfast International, Belfast City and Dublin airports are advising passengers to check with their airlines. And NIE has confirmed on our programme earlier as many as 50,000 homes are without power tonight.
Yes, there's also disruption on our roads. The M1 junction 14 Tamnamore has been partially reopened in both directions following the partial removal of fallen trees. Police are, however, still on site there. With all the details for tonight and the weekend, here's Ross Hutchinson with the weather.
It's time to take a rain check. There's no place like home. UTV Weather. Sponsored by the Grant Airona R290 heat pump.
Hello, good evening. Well, of course, a lot of attention on the weather today as Storm Amy has barrelled her way in from the west. Wet and windy weather, and we've got warnings in place for that as we head through this evening, overnight, and through much of tomorrow as well. Deep area of low pressure developing over the last few days, moving in over the Atlantic. We saw heavy rain earlier. A lot of that has cleared through. The winds have started to pick up through the afternoon. These are the warnings as they stand. We've got western parts of the country under an amber warning until 8 p.m. tonight, gusts of 70, maybe 80 miles an hour. As that lifts, all of us covered by a yellow warning until midnight tomorrow. Again, staying very blustery indeed. And on top of that, we've got a rain warning in place until midday tomorrow. So this covers heavy showers merging together, forming longer spells of rain as we head through this evening, overnight, and of course into tomorrow morning. So for now, the showers will continue. Some of these are very much on the heavy side. They are, of course, merging together, but we do have these very strong winds. They're rattling through at quite a pace, very unsettled as we head into those early hours. Temperatures pretty academic underneath all of this. We're looking at overnight lows around 8 or 9 degrees. So into tomorrow morning, messy start to the day. The storm continues to have an impact with those strong winds and heavy downpours. Into the afternoon, the wind staying blustery, but we're seeing some sunnier skies developing. Temperatures struggling a bit, 12 or 13 degrees in those winds, feeling just that bit fresher. As we zoom out a little bit further, you can see a scattering of showers, sunny spells, temperatures just about reaching the low teens. Through the next few days, cloud amounts will vary with patchy rain, but temperatures pick up and of course the winds will ease.
UTV weather, sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
Coming up at 7, it's the latest edition of UTV Life.
A night for staying in. Here's Pamela.
Yes, on UTV Life tonight at 7, I'll be talking to singing superstar Rick Astley about his comeback and his upcoming tour. Actor and singer Orla Mullen will be telling me about her new role in the new series of Blue Lights, and we join the Answer at their band rehearsals in the Ulster Hall. That's UTV Life tonight at 7, right after the national weather and on ITVX.
That's the latest. Aidan Brown will be here with your late news at 10:30.
The ITV Evening News continues with Lucrezia from Paul, from me and everyone here. Have a very good evening and take care out there.
Good evening.